Saxon Math for 6th grade. Today we're going to be working on lesson 23. We're doing subtracting with mixed numbers with regrouping. Regrouping you've learned before. It's when you need to take something from the next biggest place and you need to break it into smaller parts to help you subtract. Let's look at what that looks like with fractions and mixed numbers. So here we have 3 wholes and 5/8, and we want to subtract out 1 whole and 7/8. Okay, fair enough. As soon as I look at this problem and begin to do it, I know that I need to start with the fractions. 5/8 minus 7/8. Wait, that's not going to work. I only have 5/8. How can I take away 7/8? Here's where I need to regroup. I'm going to take 1 away from the whole number, and it'll become 2. And that 1 that I took away, I'm going to turn into a fraction that equals 1. I'm going to use the same denominator as the fraction I have, which is 8ths. I know that 8/8 is equal to 1. So I've taken 3, and instead of calling it 3, I'm going to call it 2 and 8/8, which is 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3, or 2 and 8/8. I'm going to take the 8/8 and I'm going to put it with my 5/8 so that I end up with a number big enough that I can subtract my 7/8. 8/8 plus 5/8 is 13/8. Subtract 1 and 7/8. Now let's use the same system. Subtract the fractions first. 13 minus 7 leaves me with 6/8. 2 minus 1 is 1. I always reduce my fraction. I know that both 6 and 8 will divide by 2. So an equivalent fraction would be 1 and 3/4. Let's look at what that looks like with percents. So if I had a problem that had percents, this is the only time you get to completely ignore the percent sign. It doesn't actually change how you do the math. We're going to use the same system of regrouping to help us. So I have 83 and 1/3 percent minus 41 and 2/3 percent. Percents aren't going to matter. Start by subtracting your fractions. 1/3 minus 2/3. I can't take 2/3 away from 1/3. So we're going to regroup one of these. This is going to become a 2. And I'm going to take that 1 that I took away, and I'm going to turn it into a fraction with the same denominator as the fractions I'm working with. In this case, a 3. So I'm going to change it into 3/3. 3/3 plus the 1/3 I have is 4/3. Notice, in both cases, when we regroup, we end up with an improper fraction. That's what we need so that we can subtract our other fractions. So that's okay here. We're working in percents. Minus, just leave this one alone, 41 and 2/3 percent. Now I can subtract. Start with your fractions. 4/3 minus 2/3 leaves me with 2/3. 82 minus 41 leaves me with 41. And I can't reduce this anymore, but I am working in percents, so I'm going to want to put the percent symbol in my answer. Use the same system of regrouping to help you with your problems today when you have mixed numbers that require regrouping.